Imagine a battlefield, a place of intense chaos and conflict. It might seem like anything goes, but even in the most challenging situations, there are indeed rules guiding behavior. So, what keeps things from spiraling into complete disorder? International humanitarian law, often called the law of armed conflict, precisely regulates the means and methods of warfare. It sets clear boundaries for what is permissible and what is not, fundamentally aiming to protect those not participating or no longer participating in hostilities. This crucial regulation stems from fundamental principles that, from the bedrock of international humanitarian law. First, the principle of distinction requires all parties to a conflict to differentiate between combatants and civilians, and equally important, between military objectives and civilian objects. Then there is the principle of proportionality, which dictates that an attack must not cause incidental civilian harm that would be excessive in relation to the concrete and direct military advantage anticipated. Furthermore, the principle of humanity strictly prohibits weapons and methods that cause unnecessary suffering or are inherently indiscriminate in their effect. Finally, military necessity allows measures indispensable for subduing the enemy, but these measures must not be otherwise prohibited by international humanitarian law. These, for principles together, provide the essential framework for restricting weapons and tactics during armed conflict. In practice, international humanitarian law specifies certain prohibited weapons outright. This includes chemical and biological weapons, blinding laser weapons, and anti-personnel landmines under various international treaties. It also significantly restricts the use of other weapons, like incendiary weapons, to prevent widespread and unnecessary suffering. Methods of warfare are also meticulously scrutinized. For example, the starvation of civilians as a method of warfare is strictly prohibited, as is the use of human shields. Targeting civilians or civilian infrastructure without military justification is considered a grave breach of these laws, carrying serious consequences. It is fascinating to realize that this body of law is not static but dynamic, constantly evolving. While many core prohibitions are enshrined in treaties like the Geneva Conventions and their additional protocols, customary international law also plays a vital role. This includes practices universally accepted by states, even if not formally ratified in a specific treaty. Additionally, new weapons and technologies are constantly assessed against international humanitarian law principles by legal experts to ensure compliance, meaning the rules are always adapting to the new realities of conflict. This continuous evaluation ensures that the humanitarian protections remain as relevant and effective. Understanding these regulations is crucial because they serve a singular, profound purpose: to mitigate the suffering caused by armed conflict. By clearly defining what is permissible and what is not, international humanitarian law aims to preserve a measure of humanity even during the most challenging times, offering protection and clarity to all affected by war. This comprehensive framework provides a vital safeguard against unchecked violence, reinforcing the importance of protecting human dignity in all circumstances.